The Confessions of Saint Augustine, Book 4, Chapter 4. In those years, when I first began to teach rhetoric in my native tongue, I had made one my friend, but too dear to me, from a community of pursuits of mine own age, and as myself in the first opening flower of youth. He had grown up as a child with me, and we had been both schoolfellows and playfellows. But he was not yet my friend as afterwards, nor even then as true friendship is, for true it can't be, unless in such as you cement together, cleaving unto you by that love which is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. Yet was it but too sweet, ripened by the warmth of kindred studies, for from the true faith which he as a youth had not soundly and thoroughly imbibed, I had warped him also to those superstitious and pernicious fables for which my mother bewailed me. With me he now erred in mind, nor could my soul be without him. But behold, you were close on the steps of your fugitives, at once God of vengeance and fountain of mercies, turning us to yourself by wonderful means. You took that man out of this life when he had scarce filled up one whole year of my friendship, sweet to me above all sweetness of that my life. Who can recount all your praises which he has felt in his oneself? What did you then, my God, and how unsearchable is the abyss of your judgments? For long, sore sick of a fever, he lay senseless in a death sweat, and his recovery being despaired of, he was baptized, unknowing. Myself, meanwhile, little regarding and presuming that his soul would retain rather what it had received of me, not what was wrought on his unconscious body. But it proved far otherwise, for he was refreshed and restored. Forthwith, as soon as I could speak with him, and I could so soon as he was able, for I never left him, and we hung but too much upon each other, I essayed to jest with him, as though he would jest with me at that baptism which he had received, when utterly absent in mind and feeling, but had now understood that he had received. But he so shrunk from me, as from an enemy, and with a wonderful and sudden freedom bade me, as I would continue his friend, forbear such language to him. I, all astonished and amazed, suppressed all my emotions till he should grow well, and his health were strong enough for me to deal with him as I would. But he was taken away from my frenzy, that with you he might be preserved for my comfort. A few days after, in my absence, he was attacked again by the fever, and so departed. At this grief my heart was utterly darkened, and whatever I beheld was death. My native country was a torment to me, and my father's house a strange unhappiness, and whatever I had shared with him, wanting him, became a distracting torture. Mine eyes sought him everywhere, and he was not granted them. And I hated all places, for that they had not him, nor could they now tell me, he is coming, as when he was alive and absent. I became a great riddle to myself, and I asked my soul, why she was so sad, and why she disquieted me sorely. But she knew not what to answer me. And if I said, Trust in God, she very rightly obeyed me not, because that most dear friend whom she had lost was being man, both truer and better than that phantasm she was bid to trust in. Only tears were sweet to me, for they succeeded my friend in the dearest of my affections.